Alrighty, so I wanted to do a should you summon for the new Percival unit because I think that he is very interesting. I have watched a pretty good amount of gameplay for him, and he actually seems pretty useful. So if you don't know what he does, we're going to go over his kit really quickly. I feel like I normally end up drawing this out too much, so we're going to try to go through it kind of quickly here. His passive is New Beginning. At the start of the battle, apply Will of Endurance for 2 turns to the unit. For every specific ally on the battlefield, which his specific allies are humans and 7 Deadly Sins units, increases that specific ally's defense-related stats by 10%. Also, when the unit uses a single target card to the enemy, apply Concentrated Attack to that enemy for 2 turns, and for every alive ally, increases the unit's HP-related stats by 10%. For every dead ally, increases the unit's critical damage by 100%. So he does get really high crit damage. I've seen him with upwards of 500. I think he has around 200 something for his base crit damage. And then obviously if he's like your backliner and they wipe your field, he can have like a ton, which is 500 plus. And unfortunately his damage is pretty bad. So take that with a grain of salt, of course. The parts of his passive, Will of Endurance is in effect, takes 30% of the damage given to an ally to the unit and heals 50% of the damage taken. So he's a very good tank unit. I've seen a lot of people use him on humans as like a frontliner, or I've seen a little bit of backliner stuff as well. But for human frontliner, he actually seems like he can make the human team go second and still do good, which is pretty big for those who have like lower CC. So that is definitely something to consider. The Concentrated Attack, which is actually a gray debuff after watching gameplay, is critical resistance is minus 30% at the enemy's turn when attacked by 2 single target skills, increases damage taken by 50%, damage increase applied once. So kind of interesting there. His single target skill, actually he has 2 single target skills, but his first skill is a rush skill, which is times 2 crit chance when attacking an enemy with concentrated attack applied, increases damage by 100%. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it applies it before the first attack actually goes off, because it's when you use a single target on an enemy. And I think it has to be from Percival, but I could be wrong on that. When the unit uses a single target, yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's whenever he uses a single target skill. So rush damage, 450% of attack on one enemy. That's at level 3, of course. Skill 2 is Immature Slash, which is inflict damage of 450% of attack onto a single enemy and reduces ultimate move gauge by 3. So it's just an ult drain card, nothing crazy there. Ultimate is Slap of Anger. Apply buff that increases attack-related stats by 50% for 2 turns to the unit, and apply debuff that increases damage taken by 50% to an enemy and inflicts sever damage by 750% of attack on a single enemy. So he is all single targets. Once again, I don't know if I said it or not, but shout out to Kane, of course, for the JP/KR translations and everything. That does help quite a bit. But you can see he does work in all content. He is able to be worked in the backline, which I think is pretty interesting, because the humans haven't really had great backliner options, so he could be decent there. Or if you just want to run him in the front line, that could also work out as well. And it looks like the only thing that scales on his ultimate is just the damage, so he's not like super pay to win or anything. He will still end up increasing his attack-related stats, by 50%, and then the damage taken on the enemy will also still be 50% as well. We're going to skip over Wild because you're not even having to summon for him. The banner itself, really good, actually. I wasn't 100% sure what to think about this thing to begin with, but it's basically just all seasonal characters and Red Tarmiel for some reason. Also, Elat's in here. I don't think that she's technically a seasonal character either, but you have the new Shin, Valentine's Day Deanne, which a lot of people have been wanting. She's really good for Demon King. This New Year's King is also pretty good as well. You have Demon Cusack and Demon Chandler for the Demon backlines, which, whatever. I mean, if you want those, great. If not, it is what it is. You have New Year's Mono from last year, who's pretty decent. She's like a staple on like the Catastrophe teams, especially for like Guild Wars and stuff, but I'm not sure how many of you are actually going to get use out of that character. Blue Camilla, pretty trash, I'll be honest, but you also have the red New Year's Elizabeth in here, which if you don't know is the LR Elizabeth, which means that that's a pretty big pickup if you can pull her. But the huge thing about this banner is that it is a special banner, because not only is he rated up to 0.5, so you can get the brand new character at a little bit better rates, but at the 600 mark, you don't get to pick it doesn't just give you a copy of Percival, you get to choose any character in the banner and you get to pick that character. So if you're lucky and you pull Percival early and you end up going to the 600 mark and you've been really needing that LR Elizabeth and you just haven't been able to pull her, you can choose LR Elizabeth. If you needed that, Valentine's Deanne, you can choose her at the 600 mark. So really, really good value here. They do not do the Selector that often anymore. Normally only for like really big, like interesting banners. And I think this character is going to be considered seasonal because you can see down here the reward for achieving 600 milestone can be obtained by selecting ticket. The new character, Hope, or Boy of Hope Percival, will not be added to the permanent gacha lineup after this gacha period ends, which typically means that they're a seasonal character, but they really don't update the baseline or the gacha lineup anyway, so maybe he's not a seasonal and it's just the fact that they're sticking to what they've been doing and not adding characters to the SSR tickets. But either way, very, very nice that you actually get to choose the character you want at the 600 mark and not just Percival, so that is pretty cool. And the fact that he's not pay to win with his ultimate means that you can basically just get him 1/6 if you really want to, and then just pick a character that you've needed that is typically a seasonal character here, so that's really, really nice. Shout out to Sacred Treasure Podcast on Twitter, and Davo, of course, for the screenshot of Percival in-game. You can see here, he is a green character, of course. This is him with True Awakening 6/6 maxed HP defense gear on 15% rolls and everything, and he is at 72,000 CC, so he has really good CC, actually, which means that your human team should actually get some pretty good CC boost from having him on the team, hopefully, which is pretty nice. So I think that he looks great. Very excited to have him in the game and everything. I would say if you have the gems for it, I think he's a good pickup. Just personally, I think that he seems like a pretty good character, at least if you're running humans, Maybe if you're not like a human main or you're not interested as much in the human team, you could probably skip this guy, but if you invested a lot into Escanor, maybe, you could probably get some use out of him there. Or if you just really need one of these characters in the actual banner lineup itself, you can go all the way to the 600 and guarantee a copy of that character. So that is also very, very helpful. Obviously, if you already have all these characters, for example, or you just don't, or you're not worried about needing them or whatever, and you're not a human character player for PvP or whatever, because it doesn't seem like he's going to be that great in like PvE content or anything. He seems more catered towards like the PvP meta, but if you don't need any of that, you could probably get away with skipping this guy. But I do think that the banner's crazy. Like, the fact that you get to choose is awesome. Lots of good characters in here. The character does seem good if you want to actually use the humans, and if you've invested into Escanor, you can either run Sins or humans, and Sins seems to be the most popular option right now. But like I said, if you're a free-to-play player or something and you can't go first all the time, he could be really nice for that. So those are just my opinions on it. I do think that the banner is worth summoning on. Obviously, you might not have the gems for it, which if you don't, I am so sorry, because this is just a bad time for a good character like this to kind of drop, because obviously the festival was really hype and a lot of people spent a lot of gems on it. But if you do, best of luck on your summons. We will be doing live summons later on tonight. I'm going to put this out Monday morning. Banner should go live Monday night for me. I will be live whenever the banner drops. We're going to do some summons. Probably, I'll probably start with the storyline. We're going to get that over with so I can unlock the new tavern, and then we'll go into the summons and probably test him out a little bit in PvP, maybe mess with some of the new events, so that should be kind of fun as well. So thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the new Percival. If you've either already played with him or just seen some gameplay and everything, let me know what you think, because I'm kind of interested. But either way, have a good day.